So in this video, I'm going to use a student's painting and my own painting to demonstrate how you can make your paintings look more 3D. Hi, welcome to Paint Coach. My name is Chris Fornatero, and I'm here to help simplify oil painting so that you can get better faster. So how do we make paintings look three-dimensional? Because we're working on a two-dimensional surface. We're not using clay and sculpting in 3 dimensions. So what are the tools that we use to make things look like they have form? Well, the main thing is values. It's not the colors, it's the values of those colors. So I did this painting of an orange on Patreon, and some of my patrons painted it, and I chose one to use as an example because they did a lot of things well. The colors are really great, the drawing is working, and even the values are good. But the one slight thing I would want them to work on is to find a wider range of values. So pretty much finding a little more darker darks and lighter lights. By utilizing a wider range of values in your painting, it's going to make creating form and making things look 3D a lot easier. Let's jump on Photoshop and show you exactly what I'm talking about. So to help me just see values, I'm gonna pop both of these into black and white. All right, so now we're just dealing with values. So the first thing I like to do is I like to look at my reference and say, okay, what is the darkest dark and what is the lightest light? So I mean, obviously the darkest dark is gonna be like this background, similar, thing happening down under there. So looking at the students, is their darkest dark as the reference's darkest dark? Well, I can lift this color and see it can go a little bit darker. Same thing underneath here, could definitely go a little bit darker. Same with this part of the orange peel, could push that a little darker. And now, okay, what is the lightest light? I mean, it's probably gonna be, like this highlight or this fleshy part of the orange is probably gonna be one of the lightest values. So I can take this and see if it is as light on the painting. You can see they could have gone a little bit lighter. Same with up here, could push that a little lighter, this a little lighter, maybe in there. Still doesn't look as bright as it does in this one. Why is that? That's because the darks around these light areas aren't dark enough. Take this part of the orange peel and shadow there. I can take that and you can see making that darker is going to make the light areas around it pop a little more. Especially over here too, this whole shadowed side of the orange. Can push the dark side here. Same with this part of the orange peel down here. I can push this a little darker. And even the light area up here, I think could go a little bit darker. And doing that will make this bright highlight when I put it in look that much brighter. So it's helpful to get the darkest darks in first because this it's pretty much black, and so if I get that down I can use it to compare other values to. A good example is this shadowed side of the skin of the orange and how dark it is. I mean, that's pretty dark. It's definitely lighter than the background, but it's not that much lighter. So if I take that and I can compare now with the painting, look how much lighter this is than the background. It definitely needs to be a lot darker. And then putting that in shows me that this like little white area of the skin needs to be a little darker too. So you can see, even though I put all these different values in really roughly, it's still adding a lot more form to the orange. I mean, just putting in this shadow shape is making this orange seem more round. It's giving it more volume. Putting this shape in a little darker is pushing it back more and selling the effect of it curving backwards. Same right here. Just adding that darker shape is making this orange peel have the sense that it's curving back and down and out of the light. So being able to find a wider range of values is going to help you so much in portraying form and making things look three-dimensional. All right, now I'm going to show you how I went about painting this. Cue the classical music. So the important thing I want to talk about here is how I have a color and value kind of representing every key aspect of the painting. You know, I have my darkest dark, got that background in there, which is going to help me judge a lot of the colors and values in the orange. You know, I have the light side of the orange peel, the shadowed side of the orange peel, the light side of the orange, the shadowed side of the orange, and I have the back of the table here. Now this is important because now I can compare, you know, this to the light side of the orange peel, to the light side of the orange, to the shadowed side, to the shadowed side of the peel, to the background, to here, and I can use all of these reference points to dial in the values and check myself. Like you could see that I realized that this area was too light and I made it darker. It also took me a couple strokes to find the right color and value in this. And as far as the orange here and like why I chose purple for the shadow, it's not so much about the color as much as the value at this point. I'm just wanting to map out light and shadow, and then I'm gonna put a whole bunch of other colors within here. And mapping it out this way is going to help me choose the right value of the colors that I end up putting in this shadow or in this light section. So to sum it all up, all I'm thinking about at this phase is these big shapes of value and laying down as close as I can accurate value relationships. Like I know it's not going to be 100% accurate right now, but I want to get it close enough and have the relationships be close enough so I can build more colors and values on top of them and know they're going to be right. So the big thing here is how many more colors I put in this shadowed part right here. I mean, I also put a lot of other colors, you know, in the lighter part, but since I blocked out the major value shape, it helped me put these colors in the right value. Like one of the biggest mistakes I see is people might have their big shapes in the right value, but as the painting goes on and they find more details and smaller shapes and more values, they kind of lose what they established early on. So as I'm putting in more colors and values in this area, I'm constantly stepping back and making sure that I'm not making things too dark or too light. So if you're working on a painting and you think it's looking flat, you're just not getting the form you want, check your darkest darks, check your lightest lights. See if there's areas you can make darker or areas that you can make lighter. If your lights aren't looking that bright, is it because the darks around those lights aren't dark enough? Take a picture of your painting on your phone and put it into black and white, and then put your reference photo in black and white and compare them. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to see what I'm painting on a daily basis, you can follow me on Instagram at Forza43. I'm Chris Fornatero here telling you to go get painting.